Hi, my name is Stanley Checker. My topic is Republic of China. My objectives are doing business in China, political and economic system of business in China, business organization in China, then leadership in China, followed up by human resource management in Chinese business, then change management and banking system of China and India. Doing business in China, or we can see the qualifications, face, meeting and greeting, how to meet and greet people, and building relationship is very important. And also giving gift ethic, like how you can give gifts to the people to have a good relationship with them. And it goes like meetings and negotiations. There are a lot of meetings and people want face to face negotiations and stuff. So my first point is political and economic system of business. By 2005, China's economy is the largest in the world after the United States when measured on a purchasing power parity basis according to World Bank 2009. Secondly, the Chinese government has a goal of uh, quadrupling the gross domestic product, that is the GDP, by 2020 and more than doubling the per capita GDP. Third, the government fosters a dual economic structure that has evolved from a socialistic, centrally planned economic to a social market economic system or a market economy with socialistic characteristic. Fourth, joint ventures are encouraged, especially in the coastal special economic zones and open coastal cities. Fifth, the last one, China has remained a primary recipient of the world's destination of the FDI in recent years. FDI accounts for 27% of the value added production, which is 4.1% of national tax revenue and 58% of foreign trade. Over 190 countries from around the world invest in China, which includes 450 of the world fortunes, around 500 companies. China joined the World Trade Organization in 2001 and contributed to a rapid growth in imports, expanded exports, and FDI inflows surpassed of $60 billion annually in 2006. Chinese economy uh, is inflated rate is the general rise in prices measured against a standard level of purchasing power. In April 2009, prices dropped 1.5% from last year. After steady falling at the beginning of 2009, falling prices lowered the cost on goods and encouraged consumers to spend. This helps the Chinese economy recover its diminishing exports. Eighth point. The main industrial exports of trade for China are manufactured goods, textiles, garments, and electronics. The leading export materials in China are materials in China are which is tungsten, antimony, tin, magnesium, um, molybdenum, and these are the manufactured goods of trade exports for China. China has been manipulating the holdings of its currency at an artificially low level. The, the level of this is the final point. The currency appreciated 21% against the dollar through July 2008 and then went flat as Chinese authorities were concerned about slipping exports. China's continued currency manipulation is hurting its own economy. The Treasury Secretary noted the appreciation of the yuan could be a win-win situation for the world's economy. Business organizational in China. First one. A business organization as an association expressed in a variety of relationship, that is joint owners, joint operators, agent and principal, trustee and beneficiary, employer and employee. The history of efforts of these individuals or groups of individuals within the business unit to accomplish that purpose for which the business unit was formed, namely the making of profit is recorded in the accounts of the enterprise. Secondly, business organization are cooperative arrangements of men for the purpose of acquiring property rights, which is measured by the unit of value, that's the dollar, by producing some product or service exchangeable for some form of property, usually a right to money, which may be distributed as income to individuals. By these terms, only private enterprises and some foreign funded enterprises in China would fall under the category of business organizations. However, strict classifications of business organization do not capture the rich variety of organizations that behave like capitalist firms in China. Thirdly, private and foreign funded enterprises as business organizations in the Chinese context. The organizations that populate these two categories of economic organization are the closest to the classic definition of business organizations. Fourth, business organizations in China are a thriving and fundamental part of the economic and social transformation that is occurring in that country. However, a narrow definition of business organization does not capture the rich variety of organizational forms that are behaving like business organization in China today. Now when we see leadership in China, firstly, business according to the Chinese is starting with seeing what it is and what it can be. They constantly present themselves in effect with the framing question, what image do I see in my mirror? And the reframing questions, how might I see it differently and what am I blind to? Those questions help them continually reframe and reinterpret what lies before them, behind them and within them. Secondly, intentionally to take a long view of the enterprise's cycles of yin yang, which means they seek out lessons from history and from the experiences of others. They ask, what if I see an unexpected image in the mirror? In doing so, they become neither complacent in victory nor desperate in defeat. They transcend the highs and lows of the current moment and thus build and learn to accept and not resist. Thirdly, Chinese emerging leaders have built close relationship with stakeholders by being consistent listeners in both professional and personal settings. Human resource management. Firstly, statement of the problem. The purpose of the study is to determine the variables that explain the difference between Chinese people and Western people, and this study also develops the understanding, knowledge and skills necessary to build the human resource management model. Secondly, review of selected literature. This means the whole world is currently casting its eyes on China for the commercial and political significance in the 21st century. A lot of research provide some important data for understanding of the Chinese market. Thirdly, content of culture. Content of culture is most researchers have seen the need for an alternative methodology to gain more complete and coherent knowledge about the Chinese people. My fourth point is most Asians found that Confucianism is a necessary and sufficient condition to economic development, which provide a peaceful solution for human relation. Last one is expressing the ideas directly and avoiding face-to-face conflict around the global strategies. And these are about the human resource management. Finance and banking system in China. Previously, China adopted the mono banking system where there was virtually no need of banking for risk management. During then, every step involving the supply and utilization was predetermined by the Chinese government. Uh, China's banking system has undergone significant changes in the last 2 decades, and banks are now functioning more like Western banks than before. Uh, so, China's banking system have gone through significant change in the last 2 decades, and China's financial system is highly regulated and protected by its government. The legal system in China. China's laws is one of the oldest legal traditions in the world. For most of the history of China, in its legal system has been based on the codification philosophy of social control through moral education as well as legalistic emphasis. In the 20th and 21st century, law in China has been a complex mix of traditional Chinese approaches and Western influence. The Chinese court system is based on the civil law model after the legal system of Germany and France, but with local characteristics. My conclusion is China is a liberal market economy, which is LMC, where every decision are made by few people and most of the market is controlled by government. China is a rising superpower in the world. In the next decade, its GDP has been increasing exponentially during the last decade. China's government is now more concerned with its people's welfare. My last is China is encouraging its small medium enterprise business by strategically using its population. Thank you.